welcome. This is Real Talk Baseball. I'm Carlos Baseball with Ernie Orange. How's it going, Ernie?
Hey, man, Carlos, how's it going, man? Where the heck are you, man?
Dude, I'm over here in Cuernavaca, dude. Just
Oh,
vacationing.
man, must be nice.
Nah.
You gonna start hitting the piano for us during the show or
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I'm gonna go, have an appointment with Elton John later on, dude. So he should be
Oh,
here.
man,
Get in here. Gonna do
learning from the
that.
best.
Exactly, exactly.
That's
We got a
great,
good
man.
show for you guys today, man. We do want to talk about the stuff that's going on, and as you can see in the bottom, there's breaking news. Evan Gaddis, if you guys don't know who that guy is, he's a catcher for the Astros in 2017. There's an Astros. I mean, that's kind of we need to put that to rest already. I think they already won the World Series last year. They're champs or whatever. But little things like this keep happening, and the wound is still open for some fans. I was one of them. Now I'm just like whatever. But like this guy came out, started tweeting that they did steal signs, and they knew what was coming from CC. They knew what was coming from Kershaw. So it's like
Oh,
I don't
man.
know, dude. It's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, it's a cheating scandal that just won't go away, Carlos.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Astros will always be remembered for the cheating scandal. And unfortunately, maybe other teams were using it as well. But until you get caught, you're
Yeah.
still innocent.
Exactly. But I mean, it is what it is. It is breaking news. It's one of the things that's out there right now, so we can't go without mentioning it. And yeah, it's El Oso Blanco. If you guys don't know who he is, he was with the 2017 Astros. He played for the Braves as well, and he was a good person and a good. His backstory on how he came back to baseball is pretty crazy. But he is part of that 17 World Series championship for the Astros, so a lot of people don't really care about his backstory anymore. But I mean, it
Right.
is what it is. Yeah. So I mean, we do have a good show today. We do have the two collisions on the plate, one brawl. It's pretty crazy, dude. Like, we thought that we ain't gonna see that anymore. We thought that was
Right.
the end of it, and it happened, dude. Which is really cool, right?
Correct. So the MLB implemented this rule change that they didn't want no more collisions to avoid these injuries. Unfortunately, it's a part of the game. It's hard to avoid at times. Times like
Yeah.
these this weekend was crazy. We saw a total of 3 collisions. Actually, there was another one that not mentioned because nothing crazy happened like these other two. But
Yeah.
it was a crazy weekend, man. We had a lot of good news, a lot of drama. What a great weekend of baseball for sure.
Yeah, and it's the first, I guess it's the second week that just ended. We're into the third week, if you really want to count the first week, which was only 4 games. And now we're heading into the second. We just finished the second week. We're going into the third week, which is pretty good because you have the Dodgers Giants, which is a huge rivalry, and it's going to be a huge series. So can't wait till we get discuss what happens, and so hopefully we see some aggression between two teams right here because I think the rivalry is needed in baseball, and
Right.
I'm one of those that I do appreciate the rivalry. But let's get into it, man. I know we have some
Right.
videos here, and
Okay.
let's just put the first video out there. And this is one of the collisions that happened, and with the Braves and the Padres this past week.
And fielded at first. Olson's coming home. And this one gets by Darno. 2 runs are going to score. It's 4-0. And Darno took a pretty good pop from Odor. And they're going to have to.
Damn, that's
Wow,
a crazy
Carlos,
hit.
that was
Yeah,
a pretty bad blow to Darnold's head. You see
yeah,
roughness, Odor's left thigh hit Darnold's in the head. It was a pretty
yeah.
bad hit, man. You know not to mess with Odor. Ask Bautista about that. So,
He,
I
threw-
mean,
he, he got it right to his face. That's what he got. But
you know
you
what?
can see it up right there. Like he went. It's not an. Like I want to say, I feel like it's not intentional.
Yeah, it
I
was
guess
definitely
they.
not intentional. It was one of
Yeah,
those places like right on the plate. He had to go full force. If he doesn't
yeah,
go full force, then he's the one being hurt. So
yeah.
it's just
I mean,
unfortunate. Darnold's out with 7 days of concussion.
ooh,
But fortunately, he 2 plays before he actually had just had another collision with Jack Cronenworth, so that's what
okay,
led to the concussion. So back-to-back collisions in the same inning. That's not good for a
yeah,
catcher, man.
dude. But this one looks like when he put his head down, it looks like most of the contact happened on his head. So I can
Right.
tell like he really got a little bit disoriented, but he did look like he went after the ball and he went and got the ball and everything. But yeah, it's kind of one of those plays where you're like, they're throwing the ball, you put your body in front of it, and you get hit. So it did happen to where, I mean, it is a collision, but back in the days when this was allowed, you would throw all your body. This doesn't look like he threw all his body at him. So
Right.
imagine if he would have threw all his body at him. Man, he would have tackled him. He would have probably even broke something. He would have probably like, put him to rest right there,
Right. This
He would
is
have
just
been
an
snoring.
unfortunate play. I don't think Odor could have done anything to stop himself at this point. He was coming at full force. It was
Yeah.
just a little too late. He took the hit. But the crazy thing about this, Carlos, Odor actually never touched home plate after this.
Well, it
So
looks like he went back though. He looked
he
like he
did
went
go
back.
back. He did go back, but Kim had already scored. So the round didn't end up counting. So all this just for nothing. No rounds even counted. The Padres didn't
Ooh.
even contest the play. It just moved on. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, we have Travis Dornor now out for a week with this concussion.
Well, yeah. I mean, the Padres blew the Braves out that game. So I mean, but it is a run. It is a run, and they both like. I mean, the collision and everything. But yeah, I did see that Kim scored right after him, and then Odor went right after and tried to touch the base. So it's kind of one of those things where you kind of have to set the rule on that one. Like, we got Ethan. That one was nasty. There we go, Ethan. What's up, man? Yeah, it was
Hey,
kind of nasty, dude.
hey, what's up, Ethan? Thank you for joining the show, man.
Yeah. So let's move on. Let's go into the next one, man. And this one's a little bit more. I'm gonna let you decide what you think of this one because I have something to
On
say
the
about
ground
this
to
one.
third, Moncada's coming home. Throw is high. Sebi got there, and that is out at the plate.
And Cruz is hurt. And I'm not sure what Santana was talking to Sebi about. I mean, that's a collision.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. There's a fight brewing now, and everybody spills out just to the left of home plate. Sebi Zavala and Carlos Santana were talking, and now here come the bullpens from left center field. Out of nowhere.
Dude,
Yeah, man.
why is the bullpen coming? Like, what? They don't get enough action out there, or what?
There's not enough action, man. People just love brawls, man. Us
Yeah,
as fans and as bullpen players, I think we all love brawls. We love to see them. Sometimes no punches get thrown, but we're just there trying to wait for
yeah,
that one punch to get thrown. You know, that's part of the game, man. But it was a
it is, dude.
terrible collision at home plate as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, O'Neal Cruz fractured his left ankle. Will be out for 4 months. He actually already underwent surgery today, so
Hmm.
he's promising, looking like he'll be back in August, which is kind of
Wow.
sad because the Pirates are a very young team. They're rebuilding, but were showing signs so far since yesterday. They were 6-3.
Yeah,
O'Neal Cruz and Brian Reynolds seem like promising future for the Pirates. It
yeah,
just kind of sucks to see O'Neal Cruz go out like that. 24-year-old, a strong arm, 6'7" guy.
yeah.
You know, you hate to see it. By the time he's back, maybe the Pirates will be out of contention by then. It's very unfortunate scenario. It's just baseball,
Dude,
man.
the thing is, I feel like he slid in a little bit too late. That's why he got hurt. He
Yes.
he kind of was going after the catcher. It wasn't like he was like sliding before the play. So in reality, that's why the catcher, I'll probably show the video a little bit right now because it doesn't have the replay. But you can tell that the catcher got a little upset because he's like, "Hey man, you should have slid in a little earlier than that. You took a late slide, and that's why you hurt your foot, like or your leg. It was a
Right.
late hit, dude. So
You
I
saw
think that one
Zavala.
was more intentional than the Travis Darno one, to be honest.
Yeah, I could say that. And see the catcher Zavala kind of screams back at Cruz, like telling him, like, "Hey man, you slid too late." And
Yeah,
you can see Cruz on the floor, like not even bothering to look at him. And this is where
nah,
Carlos Santana gets upset, man. He defends his promising player, his teammate. He's like, "Hey man, don't talk." He said the B word to him, like, "Don't be talking like this to my boy." So that's what all the drama happened. It was a great week in baseball. It's just a very poor slide by Cruz, and this affected him. Unfortunately, he's gonna have to learn. It's part of the game. But
yeah. And see, a lot of people are probably saying, why didn't he get suspended? Why is he not getting suspended? Or was the catcher blocking the plate? Look, as a catcher, you know what you're signing up for. Back in the days, you knew that you were going to get trucked, you were going to get popped, Popped is a term that was used back in the days. I don't know when this Posey rule, and they call it the Posey rule because Posey from the Giants got popped at home plate and he broke his leg. So now they took that play out, and it kind of made it seem like baseball had that before, and now we don't. So now when we see these type of plays out in home plate, it's kind of like, wow, like we get some of the old school, but this wasn't intentional. Even the cruise slide, like I don't think that was his. I don't think he was trying to pop him. It's just he slid in late. That's what
Yeah,
happened. So no
that's definitely.
suspensions, none of that stuff. The brawl, it was more of like, hey, I'm here to defend my catcher. I'm here to defend the guy that was sliding, Cruz, like everything. So baseball kind of like that. They're getting used to the MLB rules. Some of them are kind of fed up on them. Like your boy Machado. He's over there getting ejected, dude.
Hey, what's up with your boy Machado, man? He does not like the new rule change.
He doesn't, dude. So it's kind of like a miscommunication on that one, though, right? Let's get into that, the Machado. Like,
Okay.
yeah, let's just, we're mentioning that he got thrown out, and I honestly don't understand why the rules are kind of like set the way they are, but they're the rules. You got to follow them, right? So before he can ask for time, he has to be set on the plate and on inside the batting square. If he's not inside, he cannot call time, or if he's not set, he cannot call time. And all this needs to happen within before 8 seconds, right?
Right.
So then he decided, because he wasn't ready, he was messing with his gloves. He decided to call time right at the 9-8 second mark. So then the umpire called it, and he's like, no, this is a strike. So any thoughts on that? Like what? Why? I mean, I know it's new. I know it's new, and it's gonna keep happening all this year. And maybe there's like little things that they're gonna fix as the year goes by. But for right now, like, what do you think? Do you think that Machado should have got mad at the fact that happened?
You know what? He's that type of player. He has a high energy. He just doesn't like to be wrong sometimes.
Yeah,
He's a
exactly.
special character. Manny Machado's a great player. It was just weird. He got tossed out the first inning, first at bat of the
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
It's just a miscommunication issue with the umpire. It's just an adjustment period that's going to take some time for him.
yeah,
The umpires have to find a way to work with these players at bat when they're at batting, figure out
yeah,
what's the best solution for them.
yeah,
It was one of those scenarios like, what the hell? This guy already got, removed from the game. Could have impacted down the road, coming down to
yeah.
the wild card division time. But,
Hmm.
it's not something that surprises me. We knew this was going to happen.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, we saw it twice last week. We saw it also with Tim Anderson, very similar situation where he
yeah,
also gets tossed out of the game. You
yeah,
see these veteran type players, like we mentioned previously, past weeks, they're taking some time to adjust. They're going to get their timing right. It's just they're not used to it, and they have their ways, and they're kind of stubborn, and they'll eventually, settle in.
yeah. Dude, Manny Machado was one of the ones that was voicing his opinions in spring training. And we knew it was going to happen when they went into the season. So for me, this is not something that's like surprising. For me,
Right.
this is something like, okay, it's going to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen this early in the season where he got kicked out, but it happened already. So Tim Anderson with the same thing. He was already set, though. Tim Anderson was set, and he called out time because there was something in his eye, and he decided to walk out of the batter's box. And the umpire didn't grant him that time. So then the pitcher threw the ball, and it was a strike. So he got called out called strike three. He was walking away, and he started barking at the umpire, which you can't do, man. You can't do that. But he had a point. They didn't grant him timeout, just kind of like Manny Machado. At the end of the day, it's the umpire's call to decide, I'm granting you time or I'm not granting you time.
Right. And
And
you have some umpires that are not willing to work with you, and they could
yeah,
just take. And there's some umpires that are really chill and they're cool with it. And then there's the ones that you already know you should just watch out. Anything small thing you tell these umpires, you're getting tossed out of the game, man. And it could
yeah,
come up to some hefty fines if you don't watch your mouth, So
yeah,
it just honestly depends who's on the plate and who's calling the shots that day.
yeah, dude. Another guy that got ejected this game was Austin Barnes for calling strikes or defending his pitchers for not calling strikes because the strike zone was all over the place, and he just got upset and he was defending his pitchers because they're throwing too many pitches. So as soon as he said something, the umpire didn't like it and he threw him out. So it's kind of weird when you see players that are kind of those quiet ones, and then they are the ones that are getting thrown out. Those are the ones that like you're kind of surprised by. Machado, I'm not surprised by. Tim Anderson, I'm not surprised because he looks like he's one of those players that defends himself and defends the players that he plays with. So
Okay.
he's a team player, like I don't see him like getting thrown out. Another one that I do get surprised when they throw him out is Trout. Mike Trout, has he ever got kicked out of the game?
You know
He
what?
has,
I've
right?
never seen it happen. Now that talking
Yeah, right.
about it, that's a good question.
Yeah,
Carlos,
that's a really good question because I've never seen this guy getting thrown out. He's
you
one
know
of
what?
those
I don't
players
think he's ever been
that's
thrown
quiet.
out.
Yeah, and if not, let's go ahead and look it up. But if you do have that answer out there as a fan, like put it there because I would really want to see that. I just read up a stat, and this is not a good stat for the Angels. I know you're an Angels fan. On opening day, they only had 3 hits. Do you know who those 3 hits belong to?
I'm assuming it's Trout and Ohtani.
Oh man, you did, and dude, that's not looking good for Angels fans. Because to be honest, like you would want these guys to. I mean, it's only the beginning of the season. It's fine, but
Right.
that's a stat that I saw on ESPN. I saw a lot of places. I'm like, really? Like, okay, that's. I mean, it's happened like 3-4 times already. It's not like a stat that just happened on opening day. It's been happening more than not, and it's like one of those things where if they want to keep Otani, they're going to have to do a little bit. The other hitters need to produce and needs to start stepping up. And then another thing
Right.
with Trout, like you wouldn't want Trout to go to another team. No one. I mean, everybody knows that he's been an Angel all his career. So like if
Yeah,
he asks for a trade, that's bad. You know. So
it's really
hopefully that
bad. It'll
doesn't
be bad
happen.
for the franchise. But
Exactly. Like
overall, man, the team has shown signs. Some days they do hit, some days they don't. Honestly, the bullpen is hurting them really significantly right now. You'll see Trout come
yeah.
up and hit a bomb, and then the bullpen will just blow up the lead. Or you see Ohtani come up and give us a nice hit, score some
Yeah.
runs, and here comes the bullpen to blow the game. It's been some tough
Yeah.
losses to start the year, but this has been a very
Yeah.
common thing for the Angels over the past decade. You just can't seem to get over the hump with the bullpen guys. We bring in guys
It's
every
still early.
year. Still too early.
It's still early. Still early. And I like I said, I brought that stat up because I just saw it too. It's not like they need to get it together. No, it's not that. It's just it hope it doesn't happen. It doesn't carry on, and it keeps happening this way because, like I said, imagine Trout leaving the Angels. Angel fans are going to be devastated about that because
Oh,
you
for
have the
sure.
best baseball player there, and like him asking for a trade is not good. It's not good for the franchise. It's not good for him. I mean, I know he wants to win a World Series. He came back from the WBC expecting to try to like go into the playoffs and stuff like that. So the bullpen, man, and I've been seeing games, and it's like it's the start of the season. It's the start of the season, Ernie. Relax.
Oh, for
Nothing.
sure.
No panic
But
yet. There's no panic. Don't hit the panic button yet.
hey, okay. Well, talking about panic button. How about them Rays? They're 10-0 to start the season. They
Damn.
have not lost a game. They have some pitchers starting in the rotation that you ask yourself, who are these guys? The only
Name one of
pitcher
them. Name one of them. Name one of them.
I can Shane McCallaghan. That's the only
Mike
guy
Callahan.
I have a hard time saying his last name. I even question if I'm saying it right now. But
You're
this guy,
butchering it. I don't know.
I'm probably
It
butchering
sounds
it,
good.
man.
No, it sounds good. It sounds good.
So without Tyler Gasno, the team is 10-0. The offense has been doing such a tremendous job. Randy Rosarena, Wander Franco, Yandy Diaz. Man, what a team. Kevin Cash demonstrates time and time again that he's a great manager. He's
Yeah.
all about analytics, and he finds ways to win no matter what. And this team, the Rays, are we hyping them up too much early? I don't see nobody ever hyping them up to start the season. It's
No.
a team that's always never talked about. I remember a couple weeks ago, we were just talking Blue Jays and Yankees. It's just always the teams or the Red
Yeah.
Sox. The Rays are always that forgotten team, Carlos, and it just seems like
Exactly.
they're always in the mix.
Yeah, and it's crazy because we did mention and we did give our predictions for the AL East, and we did mention the Rays, but we didn't focus enough on them like we're supposed to. 10-0 is a great accomplishment, dude. It's not something where you come into the season and you expect that to happen. If you come into the season and you're winning 10 in a row, you're doing something right. You're doing something right in the off season, which is the spring training. You're coming in like on fire. So they have something to prove this year, which is really good. And hopefully they continue to do it, and hopefully they give us that surprise. Make it all the way. But we'll see. It's a long way from the end of the
It's
season.
such a long season, Carlos. You're right, but it's crazy, man. They have the highest run differential for the first 10 games ever in history in baseball.
Wow.
The 7th team to start 10-0 in history.
The 17th.
So you're talking about 100 years of baseball, and this is the 7th team to start 10-0. Incredible stat. And we had Leonardo Navarro a couple of weeks back, and he mentioned how hard it is to win in baseball, and don't expect your team to win every game. But man, the way they're playing these days, it just seems like they're never going to lose. And let's see how long they can keep the streak. Maybe I'm going to jinx them. They'll probably lose tomorrow. But,
don't say that.
But man, even if they lose, I'm not even upset at them. 10-1 still sounds better than most teams. I'll give you that.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams out there that only have like 2 or 3 wins, and that's not looking really good. It's early for them because if you're in a tough situation or in a tough division and you're already like only win 1 or 2 games, you're kind of like that's not looking too good. So
if you're the 2-7s, 3-6 record, you're already looking like, man, how are you going to overcome that? I know, like we mentioned, it is early. But with certain teams like that are top teams on the division, it's hard to overcome those already that huge game, differentials.
Yeah. Dude, let's go ahead and move on, man. We have a topic that we wanted to discuss because it's one of those topics where we're kind of like, okay, why is this man playing? Why is this man on the MLB? Like, it's still a MLB affiliation, even if it's a minor leagues. And I'm pretty sure you guys already know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about this man Tatis, man. And dude, it's not his fault that they're letting him play. This man is over there in El Paso. The Chihuahuas like raking, dude. He's pretty much playing good baseball out there. And if you didn't hear about what happened, I guess someone tweeted. I forget his name. Ernie, do you remember his name? The guy that tweeted.
Yeah, man, it was the minor league pitcher, right? His name was Kay McClure. He called Tatis a cheater. He basically took out his frustration. He gave up a home run to Tatis. This is his tweet that he deleted, by the way. Cheater hits a home run on a rehab assignment during a steroid suspension.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, of course, if I was in the minor leagues and some guy that had just been caught by using steroids, I'm gonna feel the same way because I'm trying to make the MLB team. I'm trying to move up. I'm trying to still prove to the major league team that I can move up and still be productive. Now, this man, like I said, is not his fault. This thing is happening to where he's getting these reps in the minor leagues. He's getting ready for the big league whenever he comes up, and I believe it's April 20th is when he's eligible to play with the Padres. So he's been playing since since the season started with the minor league team, and I mean he's not getting paid for sure. He's not getting paid, but this rule changed. Do you remember what year it changed, Ernie?
2015 was the first year they allowed PED suspension players to play a minor league rehab assignments. You get a chance to play up to 20 games. That's what Tatis is doing this year. Like you said, it's not his fault. It is a rule that was implemented by the MLB. You are right. McClure, the minor league pitcher, is trying to make it to the major leagues. He's been in the minor league system for over 7 years. It is time to. I'm not a big fan of this, Carlos. As a minor leaguer, you think I want to be facing these top leaguers? Not my fault that this guy got cheated. I'm all for players coming back from injury.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see JT13. He said, "Let them do PDs. I want to see 1,000-yard home runs."
Dude, you should have been in the 90s. That's when we were seeing McGuire. We were seeing, Sosa. We were seeing all these guys hit those top. Barry Bonds, man.
Yeah, don't forget about Barry Bonds, man.
But
them out of Dodger Stadium. I was right there all the time. Like, what the hell, this guy?
Great question, GT. Like, seriously, I don't know, man. PEDs, if it's gonna make the game better, but at the same time, like that's a drug, man, and it did trade into the body. So as you get older, you start seeing the after effects. And,
Carlos, and you know what? The pitchers were also doing PEDs, which was crazy.
Exactly, yeah. And they weren't even throwing 100. They were only throwing like 98,
You know,
97.
you got the Roger Clemens. Did he ever say he did steroids? I'm not sure.
No, he didn't. He was part of the. I don't know if I'm saying it right. The McRae report. He
Yeah,
was part of that. He was part of that, and I think Adi Pettit was the same. So for pitchers, I can kind of see why they did steroids. It was more of like trying to for them to get what do you call them? I'm losing my words here, but I think when they pitch, you try to do that recovery and try to pitch this the fifth or sixth day. For them, it was a little bit different because you have 162 games, you have like
yeah.
28 starts or 32 starts a year, and you're trying
That's a long
to
season, man.
yeah,
And
you're
you
trying
want to
to
recover your arm for the playoffs, right? So
yeah,
I see these guys mostly taking it for recovery. And this is a great point that you're bringing up.
yeah,
Tatis actually was coming from a wrist injury. And
yeah.
they try to blame that he took this PED for a ringworm, which we all know it's a lie.
Wait. But
Um,
he said it was for ringworm. He lied about it.
his
He's the one
mama
that lied
posted a
up.
picture about it too. His mama posted a picture of the ringworm, but
Yeah.
we all know it was a lie, man. He was just trying to recover from his injury, trying to get back to the game. He was 23 years old at the time, still young, immature. He was just trying
Yeah.
to start his own legacy, of baseball. He is the next MLB superstar, man. We're excited to see him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he didn't. We're not sure if he ever took PEDs while he was playing the game. We just know that he
Yeah.
did take PEDs while
Trying
he
to
was hurt.
trying to recuperate for the season, trying to get
Yeah,
ready, trying to get into the season for the Padres because A-Rod said it. When A-Rod said that he had to produce, he had to make home runs, he had to do all that, he felt the pressure from the media, he felt the pressure from his team, he felt the pressure from the higher ups, the Yankees and all this stuff. So, I mean, whatever it is, he's playing in the minor leagues. He's gonna be ready for the Padres once he joins the team, and that team is gonna be amazing, and it's gonna be crazy to face them because I'm a Dodger fan, and I don't want that. But it is what it is. Randy Johnson destroyed a pigeon. Hell yeah, he did. If you remember that, oh my God, what was
that's a
that pigeon
classic
doing?
video.
Yeah,
Poor pigeon never stood a chance.
Kershaw needs PEDs. Oh.
Hey, man, Kershaw, he is still a great pitcher, but man, he is looking old on the mound these days.
Yeah, he has
Last
that
year,
dad bod, dude. That's what it
he
is.
has that
It's a
dad bod,
dad
bro.
bod.
I went to the Dodger game last year, and he was pitching, and the
Yeah,
guy was just doing some exercises like what an old man would do at the gym. And I was like, man, I know you're not that old, man. He was
yeah, he's
looking
not that
like,
old.
but like you said, he's still a great pitcher. Will go down as one of the greatest Dodger pitchers ever,
Yeah.
but it's great that Kershaw finally got that ring.
Ethan, thanks for the update, man. 3-run home run by Muncy. He loves
All
playing
right,
out there in San Francisco, by the way. He always hits it
right.
to McCovey Cove. I have a shirt. I should have wore it. It says, "Go get it out the water." I don't know if you guys remember. He hit it off of Bumgarner, and it was one of those things with him. So thank you for that for that update. But yeah,
Oh
dude,
man,
going back to the Tatis problem, which brings back where we kind of feel like I mean, I feel that maybe that shouldn't be part of like him. Um, I guess what I'm trying to say is that for him to start in the minor leagues, I think he should start leagues once his suspension is up. If it's going to be on April 20th, that's when you need to start your rehab assignment, not 20 games before. Um, but that's just the way I feel. I don't know who else feels the same way. I mean, Ernie, I don't know how you feel about that, man.
well, I don't think he needed maybe a minor league stint. There's some just great players that are ready to go back to the MLB without, he does have the resources. His dad was an MLB player, ex-MLB player. He has old friends that could get him back to the playing style he once had a couple months back.
Yes, we
So
are seeing the same games, Lalo. Hopefully, we are. I hope we're not seeing games like from 2022. It is 2023. Yeah. Go
but
ahead,
yeah,
Ernie. Sorry.
are we seeing the same games? Nah, but we had some great moments with Tatis. It looks like we are looking forward to it. But I'll ask you this: do you consider Tatis a future Hall of Famer if he does go on to have a pretty good career after this?
And we talked about it at work. About it. To be honest, it's one of the things where I feel like players off the field try to get there and try to get back on the field and try to respect the fans and trying to, the front office can be tough. Like, think about it. Your boss is always going to be on top of you. Doesn't matter how much they're paying you, or if they're paying you top dollar. Of course, they're going to be on your butt, and they're going to try to make you try to get back in the field and stuff like that. So yeah, he can be a Hall of Famer for sure. He hasn't got caught doing it on the field, like something where he's playing, he's hitting a bunch of home runs, and then he gets caught, and then that situation's a little different. You know,
Yes.
if that situation happens, that's where I have a problem, because all these players that played, like one of the ones that come up is Rafael Palmeiro, and a lot of people know who that guy is. He played for the Orioles. He was a first baseman, but he came into court and he said, "I've never done steroids," and he pointed at the judge, dude, doing that, and that kind of looked bad. you know and this guy, like, they eliminated him from like a lot of things now. Like, not a lot of people know who he is. So
You're right.
that type of thing, like, to me, I feel like that can cost you the Hall of Fame. But he did it off the field, so yeah, he can still be a Hall of Fame. Like,
You're
what do
right.
you think of that?
You know what? I still think I totally agree with you. I think he's still potentially be a Hall of Famer. These different scenarios, like other players, right? But you see all these players right now having a hard time just getting to the Hall of Fame. But like you
Yeah,
said, we do know that they did it during the season and impacted their statistics.
yeah,
They had these
yeah,
crazy stats that we had never seen previously before, and
yeah.
obviously the PDs were the reason of it.
Dude, we didn't have a lot of players join the Hall of Fame because of the steroids era. Was it like 3-4 years in a row? They didn't have anybody join because they felt like there was players that did so much steroids, or did do steroids, not even convicted. They just felt like that wasn't right, you know. But it is what it is. Like, we're moving on from it. Like, and it's the sport. Um, there was one comment that said, we should have steroids so they can hit like 1,000 bombs and stuff like that. Um, yeah, I mean, playing around, yeah, that'd be fun. You kind of have there was a video game, that that you hit a bunch of home runs. I forget what it's called, but it's one of those video games where you hit home run, and if you got hit by a ball, he'll go rushing the mound and beat up the pitcher and stuff like that.
It was like
I forget.
it was very. I remember. I can't remember the name, but it was very similar to
Yeah,
like NFL Blitz games, where it was just
kind of like that. Yeah,
like
yeah,
everything was
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of crazy, a little different than your traditional baseball game, right?
yeah, yeah. It was
But
fun.
April 20th is coming up soon, Carlos, and we have Fernando Tatis coming back. It's an exciting time for baseball. We're gonna finally
Yeah,
see the real Padres with all their star players in one team at the same time. And the question is now, will they be able to produce? There's a lot of ego there, and
it's a lot.
we'll see if there's any drama with that team. Hopefully there's no downfall with that, but it's looking like a great season. We are going to have a powerful Padres team that we have never seen before. So April 20 could come
That's
soon enough.
the Padres have a team before. You know why they have a team? Machado, they had some team. They dude, the names go on. Like, I don't understand why they're saying that the Padres are a top team. Like, I know I said it a while ago, and the Padres don't have a team. Dude, the lineup that they have can carry them like far. But what you just said, the ego on each one of those guys that are getting played top notch, it's gonna be crazy to watch. It's gonna be crazy to watch. It's gonna be one of those things where if they do fall, all these Dodger fans are gonna get on Padres fans. You already know this, dude. It's one of those things of
Oh,
like, man, as a Dodger fan, I hate to. I'm not one to like point fingers at Padres fans and be like, man, you guys suck. Like, no, like, I'm not that type of guy. But I know place that I am in, which is the Dodgers. It kind of sucks that does happen. They could do all that for me. Like, I'm one of those that sit back and like, let it happen, whatever.
you're just gonna let
Whatever
it
it is.
happen, Carlos. Watch the game, enjoy the season, and watch the
Exactly.
downfall in the playoffs. So that's what you're looking forward to.
But if they do fall and they don't make it to the playoffs, dude, that's gonna be big news, huge news. It's gonna be
Huge
huge
news.
news because they have the best lineup that any money can buy. And they always say, oh, the Dodgers always buy their championships. What championships? We only have one. We don't have that many, like so. So it's not
Oh,
like
shit.
we've been buying a lot of like players, and most of these players are players that a lot of people gave up on them, like Muncy. Muncy, they gave up on him, dude.
Yeah.
Monte. So the Dodgers gave him a chance. You have Syndergaard, which he didn't do that good his last start, but Syndergaard is one of those pitchers too. Anderson from the Angels. Is it
Right.
Anderson?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
just started previously with the
exactly.
Rockies, right? You have the
Yeah,
Justin Turner, a team that also like he's with the Mets, kind of just bouncing around, and came to the Dodgers, found a good home, and
yeah,
and then you have the Dodgers just finding a bunch of minor league players. You had the
yeah,
Corey Seager, the Cody
yeah,
Bellinger. Now we're looking at
yeah,
James Outman and all these type of players, just homegrown players. So it's not
yeah.
like they kind of bought the players, you know?
No, because these were free agents. If Freddie Freeman wanted to sign with the Braves, which is kind of like a bad situation in that place, but he did sign with the Dodgers, and then you have Mookie Betts that they traded for. They
Right.
traded for, and then they signed them. So it's one of those things like you want to bag on the Dodger fans, and you want to get back on the Dodger fans, and you want to say, "Oh, it was a 60-game season championship." Hey, it doesn't matter. It's a ring. If you guys want to call the Trash Tros their World Series, which they cheated, which we just talked about when we first started the show. Evan Gaddis is coming out with all this news and stuff like that. That he's
Yeah.
tweeting. You think he was drunk when he was doing this?
You know what? That's a good question, and I always wonder why bring it back now. You've had
Exactly.
this whole time, you just stayed quiet. Now you want to talk about it. You just can't keep it to yourself, or you kind of like need to let it out before? I don't know, man.
Why bring it up? Why bring it up? Look, dude. It's one of those wounds that is already kind of scarring and stuff like that. And then he comes back. He's like, "Nah, man. I'm not gonna let it scar. I'm just gonna poke at it so you guys can feel it even more." Like, man,
Oh man.
this guy just coming back and saying that. But dude, let's continue with this, man. I kind of like feel like we have a little bit more to talk about the start of the season, and then the second week just ended. For fantasy questions, I know you guys. If you guys have any fantasy questions, I don't see you on here, but we do have the Friday show, which is Will and Xavi. They're doing that on Fridays. We're doing more of the MLB recap week before, because that's what we're doing it on Monday. Ernie AI is trying to focus on that a lot, and thank you guys for actually sending us questions and stuff like that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe and hit that like button, or smash that like button, like the younger people like to say.
Really?
We're
I
not
don't even know
YouTubers.
the word.
I think that's how they use it. They say smash that like or something
Oh
like
man,
that. Yeah.
the 30s
Yeah.
life. We don't.
Yeah, dude. Okay, let's see. Javier, what's up, Javier? Dude, there you go. Xavi the commish right there. What's up, fellas? What's up,
Javier, nice.
Javi?
Thank you for tuning in, man. Thanks.
Yep. Let's see. What does it say? Race 8-0. 8-0? Is it 8-0? Wait, we have 10 games already.
I got 10-0 from today, man. The Rays won today in the bottom of the 8th. A Brandon Lowe home run off the 8th inning, and that's where they got the victory today, 1-0. But 10-0 to start the season. Hottest team in baseball. Let's see how long they could keep at it. It's an exciting time to see an undefeated team for this long.
You think they're gonna be the A's? The A's had that 20-0 when Billy Bean started that
2002?
Moneyball 2002. Remember that?
You know what? It's too early, man. I don't know. I could see them winning 100 games with ease, and we're just gonna be like, are they gonna be,
out of the East though? Out of the East, 100 games?
Why not? They've already won the first 10.
Dude.
They only need 90 more.
That's the easy part.
Yeah, man. You gotta think about it, Carlos. You're facing less of your division this year. You're no longer facing the Yankees, the Red Sox as much. Now you're gonna be playing these NL teams more often, and the American League and NL teams. You'll get some easier wins this time around. So you're gonna have teams with better records this year. Yeah.
And you think about that. The teams are just gonna suck and stay in the bottom. If you're in 3 and 6 or 3 and 7, you're never gonna look. You're gonna be at 500. You are that they're gonna be like 100 wins. So more teams win.
I definitely feel like maybe we're not going to see as many, but yeah, definitely going to be more 100-game winners. I could see teams like increase by 5 or 7 wins more than other years.
Yeah, Hanson well there in the game changer. Yeah, I think so too. I think
Yeah, man, he just
Wander
came out
needs
of
to be
nowhere, bro, and he's
Wander
killing it.
Wander Wander needs to kind of like step up. Uh, Dude, he is playing in a race ball club. There's a bunch of young people, so he can probably be one of those players that, to be honest, to be like one of those top players. I know we've been talking about Wander, and he's been one of those players that we've been kind of waiting for him to come into the MLB. But I mean, he's playing in an exciting ball club, and they both like all these. There's a lot of players that come from the Braves that did play in the WBC, so that experience kind of exposed a lot of these players to have that playoff atmosphere at the beginning of the season, which is
Yeah.
something that's kind of rare to see because this WBC was kind of higher rating than any other WBC. So players coming into to the season hungry, ready to play and playing performing every day. It's kind of hard though because you do have 162 games to play, and it's going to be kind of hard to keep that pace. But if they do, dude, man, it's going to be amazing. And
Hey,
Wander Franco's one of them. Like he's one of the key players for the Rays to maintain that level of playing
Carlos,
great in that team. Yeah.
he's definitely been the hottest hitter with the race. He, I think, if I'm not mistaken, has 3 or 4 home runs already to start the season. Did he
Uh-huh.
play for a team for the World Baseball Classic?
Yeah, for Dominican Republic.
Really? I did not.
Yeah.
I would say I watched the least games of Dominican Republic this year. They kind of just like I thought they were going to
Because
win all these games easily. I'm like, yeah, probably won't tune in as much as these games don't
yeah,
have as much time. And
yeah.
surprisingly, they let us down. It's one of the more disappointing teams of the WBC. But
Well, they
he's
play Puerto
definitely been
Rico,
the
dude.
hottest hitter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they played Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico eliminated them. And it was one of those things that if they would have won the game, they would have been in the next level, and they didn't make it. So that's why it was kind of one of those things where the Dominican Republicana didn't wasn't as big or wasn't as mentioned because they didn't make it to the next stage of with the WBC. But Wander Franco, 3 home runs, 4 home runs already.
Yeah, he's doing really well,
Man,
man.
well, he needs to stay healthy, like Javi says. But I still think that he needs to produce like a little bit down the road because right now, like it's easy to say because it's the start of the season for him to the way he's playing to maintain that as it goes on. Because we don't know, he's too young. We don't know if he's one of those players that's going to be hot and cold. Like Corey Seager, he was one of those players that was hot and cold, hot and cold. If he was hot, he was on it. If he was cold, it was one of those like, man, this guy can't even hit a freaking beach ball right now. Like, what's up with him?
It felt like
So
he couldn't catch a break, and then the shift
it,
would come along, and it would ruin his,
yeah,
batting
and
performance.
yeah. So Wander Franco's, I think I hope he's one of those top players, and he can keep it up for the Rays, dude. I know Rosarena's over there, like doing that one thing.
The post? Oh,
Holding,
okay.
yeah, he's over there at second base posing and
Hey, man.
hitting home runs and stuff like that. So
Right.
he's over there doing the crazy things. But yeah, dude, it's an amazing to the season already. We feel really happy about it, and hopefully this 2017 thing is put to rest for a lot of fans. And I don't know, a lot of people are gonna feel about this. I know we're gonna start seeing as soon as we are off the show. We're gonna see it on ESPN. We're gonna see it
Right.
on Fox Sports and all this stuff. So
It's
I think it's time to put it to rest, dude. It's time to put
It
it to
is
rest.
time to put it to rest. It's time for the new generation of Dodger fans to focus on the new talent they have these days. It's looking
Yeah,
very promising. The team shows signs of life, and they're definitely playing really well. This is an
yeah.
exciting season as well, Carlos. We have 2 teams that have spent a lot of money. We have the Mets and the Padres, and we're gonna see if they're gonna definitely be able to produce and see if they can finally make it far in the playoffs, even though
For
they'll
sure,
have
man.
some injuries.
Exactly, man. All right, dude. We reached that point in time where we have to say our goodbyes. But before I go, do you have something to say to anybody that's on here, or if they want to watch or they want to subscribe, man?
Hey guys, well,
This
thank
is
you
that
guys
point
for
in time.
tuning in. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. It was a pleasure having you guys today. Please check our videos. We have a lot of feedback. We have the fantasy baseball going on as well. If you are playing fantasy, definitely tune in, hit the like, subscribe. Thank you, friends. If you guys are watching us, keep watching. We appreciate all the help you guys are giving us and giving us some views. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Hey, go and that camera back there because John.
What happened?
Go over him.
No te escucho nada.
Oh,
No, it's time to cut.
yeah.
No, yeah.
Damn.
Well, all right. Looks like Carlos having some difficulties. Well, thank you guys for joining the show. We'll be ending it here. Thank you guys. Hope to see you guys next week to hear week 3's recap, and hope to see more drama in the beautiful game of baseball we have here. So see you guys next week. This is Ernie. This is Carlos. Peace out, guys.